Good evening, this is bring in phone. Today is February 8th, 2018, and this is the Budget Committee meeting for the fiscal year 2018 and 2019. Anything for discussion to start? Any questions?
A couple things to point out to you, Mr. Chairman. On page 1, you had asked for some of the blanks to be filled in. So in the top right, the far 3 columns there are in red. That's historical data from those previous 3 years. That's one thing to point out there. A few other corrections that we can go into. Julie did some quality control numbers work, and nothing on page 2. I think we'll probably just hit those as we get to them. Why don't we go right to either assessor, or we left off in assessing code enforcement.
Yep.
I want to leave insurances and benefits. I think that's smart to leave that for the end, because if you approve that and, you know, a salary gets removed or added, this would change. So why don't we just plan on doing insurances and benefits, probably the very last thing you do after you vote on salary lines.
Okay.
So that would take us through page 4, and tax assessors on the bottom of page 6. We said we were going to kind of table that discussion. I don't know where you want to pick it up. We had we advertised for a 32-hour-a-week person here. The applications were pretty weak, with very little Trio computer program experience, and in the end, the only person I found that I thought could do the job was the lady that we have now, Shirley Bartlett, and she was much more expensive, obviously, as a contractor. You know, just under $500 a day. So, I mean, Donna was right. We're spending almost the same amount of money, just a shade under, for 2 days, whereas with Consuls, we had 3. That's my proposal anyway, to continue with 2 days. You can do with it what you will. You could, you know, suggest to the selectmen you have 3. Go back out to advertise, I guess, to try and hire somebody for 4 days a week. The market for assessors and code officers is terrible in the state of Maine right now. So I guess with that, what are your wishes for what you'd like to say to selectmen for assessing?
Any ideas?
Actually, I would like to go back out and advertise for the position, because we're not getting the work done. I mean, as much as Shirley, she's only can be here 2 days a week, and the work's not getting done, so it's not her fault it's not getting done, she just doesn't have the time.
So
To do it.
rebid the full-time job at 32 hours,
Yeah.
4 days a week.
4 days a week.
Do 4 days a week?
I mean, I got to tell you, if you're going to try and rebid it for 3, we've already done that, and I know what's going to come in. We could rebid it for, I'd say it needs to be full-time with benefits, and with us, that starts at 32 hours.
Okay, but what are we looking at then for amounts?
Well, this is obviously going to go up in total, because you've got health insurance to add on to here, whereas there are no benefits now with her. So, but what I'm happy to do, and same thing with cell phones, whatever you want to do in a particular line, I mean, I'll make a note right in there and highlight it in red to the selectmen saying, and this can also be in a cover memo. I don't know if you remember or not, but every year I write a memo to the citizens that talks about every page of the budget, whether something's up or something's down. You folks can do the same thing if you want to. And maybe you should, because you may have some differences of opinion between my numbers and what you want to do, and, you know, a 1 or 2 page memo to them suggesting those things is probably better than just embedding notes in the left-hand column here. So, but you prefer to rebid full-time assessor. So in that case, I think we ought to not vote on any numbers on this one tonight and leave it for next week, if that's okay.
Yep.
So we dove into code enforcement. You made one decision here, and you took legal, which is on row 182 of the new document for today. You took that down to 4,000, which is what it had been before, and I don't have any problem with that. If we need extra legal, that's in general government. So I guess we could start at the top at the salaries. You see that We've increased Glenn from 36 to 40 hours a week, but on a 4-day work week, which essentially is what he's working now. He's pretty much putting in 9 or 10-hour days, 4 days a week now. And on line 163, he asked for 6 hours per week for inspection help. That was $8,140. I thought the average would probably be closer to 3 hours a week for inspection help, and I took that down to the $45.60. Similar answer for overtime. He budgeted, more than I think we would need, especially if a new planner comes on. He's not going to need to go to selectmen's meetings as often, and planning board meetings too. And retirement, I made a slight change here. You see, mine went down to $44.90. His figure was using the maximum for the coverage that we've just talked about, and that's the reflective there in about $250. Travel, the vehicle, you can see on row 179, I took that out. I think we can squeeze another year out of the cruiser we have here. That's a $6,500 difference. That's the biggest one. So the total, obviously $4,000 at the top in your column is a mistake. That's only there because that's the only entry in code enforcement.
Right.
So I guess maybe let's split the hard lines here, the salary, going from 36 to 40. Do you support that or not?
What line are you on?
Line 162, I'm sorry.
Thank you, sorry, we skipped down.
Yep,
You said, 36 hours to 40 hours?
36 to 40 hours, right.
Um,
They're very busy with
Yeah.
numbers of permits, numbers of inspections, commercial growth. I mean, the campground's coming up. We got some more commercial buildings in South Waterboro. The economy is improving, whatever political stripe you're from, and it really shows in the number of building permits and inspections.
I would agree with that. I'd make a motion that we accept increasing the hours from 36 to 40 per week.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? No? All in favor?
3-0, thank you. Might as well do the same for the row right beneath it, row 163. Or if you want to go with my column on the way down, if you don't disagree with some of the things I've done, you could do that.
So, in the red, you have plus 3 hours each on Mondays and Fridays. That's 3 hours per day?
Yes, so under his column, column B, $8,140 from Glenn, plans on 6 hours per week, each and every week. That's a maximum number of deputy CEO hours he would do. And what I did, instead of figuring out 6 hours, I figured out 3. I mean, we're not using Jim from Alfred 6 hours each week. It's closer.
Right, and you wouldn't be using him a lot during the winter, right?
No, that's when things would pick up. I mean, spring through fall, it would get busier. But essentially, I cut it in half. He's not happy with that. And then in my column does not have the 6,500 vehicle in row 179.
Right.
There is a cell. We had talked about cell phones before. I think you should make a statement either in this budget or in your cover memo to selectmen for what you think we should or should not be doing for cell. And when you want to talk about cell, I've got some new numbers, new information. We can do that whenever you want.
Any motions?
On line 163,
Yeah.
I make a motion to accept the town administrator's amount of $45.60.
I second that.
Okay. Any discussion? No? All in favor? 3-0.
Good, thank you. I guess the only two that are substantially, well, they're not different, but we talked about cell phones before. What are your wishes on cell
Well,
phone?
Let's go 164, because that down,
Oh, okay, yeah.
same thing, I make a motion for 1,000 for overtime.
What is this? Oh,
For 164.
is there a second?
I can second it. We can still have conversation
can,
after. Okay,
yeah.
yeah. I'll second.
Discussion always follows the
Discussion.
second.
Okay.
And it's not supposed to
I tried
happen
to figure
before,
it
so
Okay.
don't hesitate to second things.
Okay, so it was seconded by Brianna. I would agree with the CEO because I know that with the new laws that have come out around the lakes and everything, we're getting a lot of building permits, and it has to go through the ZBA now, and
Well, only if there's a problem, only if they challenge the code officer.
right, but 90% of the time, I mean, we've been pretty busy.
Yeah, you've had, what, 3 meetings in the last 6 months?
Yep.
Whereas before you had 3 meetings in 3 years,
Yep, and we have
so,
two more meetings coming up in the next couple months.
yep.
So it's better to have a little extra just in case, because summertime's coming, so you know that vacationers are going to come back here and they're going to want to start building stuff, and we're going to be right back here with the ZBA. Pretty much anything out there because of the codes.
Well, part of my rationale for this was also taking him from 36 to 40 hours. It would be difficult because we're so busy, but he could still do a better job, or an easier job, having that ZBA meeting be part of his 40 hours that week.
Right, did
Right.
That was,
arrange like comp time or,
take a Friday afternoon off if you've got a Thursday night ZBA meeting.
Right.
And he tries to do that, but sometimes the stack on his desk, it just doesn't work, so. So you have a motion and a second.
Any other discussion?
So this line is
The motion is for 1,000.
For 1,000.
Right.
Yes.
so this line is talking about how much money will be set aside for his overtime.
Yes.
So if we vote on the 2,200 and he doesn't use all of that overtime, where does that go?
Right back into the fund balance, just like everything else. Everything else in this budget, if you don't spend it, it goes back into the fund balance and it can be used for the following year.
Okay.
but here's the thing, everything that's in the budget, if you vote on that amount, gets added to that total at the end. And that's what they're gonna base the tax rate on. If the town votes, if that, everything you vote on, it, the extra goes in, he's right, will
Sure.
go into the fund if you don't use it. But you're still gonna tax the public on
You have
it.
to raise it. So you should have your budget be as low as it can be and do the job, so you don't raise tax money you don't need.
Okay.
That's the goal.
And if he's getting, help with Alfred CEO to do inspections, he can adjust his schedule. So that if he has a ZBA meeting that week, he can say, okay, I need 2 hours. I come in later on Thursday or I go home early on Friday. And did he use the 2,000 of overtime last year when it says actual budget, but is that actual expenditure on that same line? Because he never had it before. And in fact, the previous 2 years, for the deputy CEO, we only had $600 allotted.
Yeah. When he started, we were doing a fraction of the building permits we are now.
So we're now upping that $4,000.
Yeah, there was no separate overtime line there in 16, 17. I don't think we're gonna have a great challenge to, if you vote the $1,000 in here, with the other things that you've already done up above that.
discussion? No?
So the vote is,
So
the
the vote
motion
is
is
for-
4,000, right?
No,
For the 1,000.
Yes.
Motion,
Isn't that what I said?
You said it's 4,000?
Oh, 8,000.
For 8,000, sure.
motion on the floor is for $1,000 of overtime. All in favor? Opposed?
2-1. Thank you. The other two things, I guess, in this are the cell phone increase and the vehicle.
Retirement,
Yeah, retirement. Line 166.
Yeah. And
That's That's easy, he just can't retire. He's working forever.
But you can see the change. I mean,
Yeah.
the reduced retirement is because of the reductions you've just done in the last, wait a minute.
Now, I have a question though. The retirement should be based on his salary, right? Not
But you've got
the
the other,
deputy, oh, okay, so his was
so it's 61.5.
for 62, right? Or 62,762.
right. So you didn't bring the calculator.
And you have it for
440.
61.5. Okay. So, but it's still only a difference of $1,200. So the retirement shouldn't be a difference of,
4490 is spot on.
okay.
I did the calculations, Donna.
What,
I did the calculations on these, showing them both ways. So that's what the 4490 is his, with what you have already voted on, is what his retirement, the
Okay.
town's share will be.
Okay.
So, do we need a motion to change that?
To accept 4490,
Yeah,
yes.
okay. I make a motion to accept the 4490
Okay.
for retirement.
I'll second that. Any discussion? All in favor?
3-0.
3-0.
The next thing you may want to discuss is the cell phone addition for Tammy. And then the vehicle, and then you've already done the legal, so other than that, I'd say, why don't you tackle those two things first, and then you could do a blanket. on the
When you
rest
have
of
to
the-
do the travel, where there wasn't any in there last, never mind. There
Well, they
wasn't
could,
any
they could
last
just
year.
take all other categories
Yeah.
in there, since there's no change from, between Glenn and myself, I guess. That's up to you folks. You don't need to do each line individually, but you certainly can.
So,
Okay, the big jump was code books and supplies.
That went down.
What? That was.
You're talking about 175?
Yes,
Yeah, that went down.
but yeah, it's gone down from the other budget, so. In fact, that line's all over the place.
Well, he bought quite a few.
Okay,
Obviously this year, and even more the year before. It all depends what new codes are coming online.
yeah, and there's new codes like
They're
that.
hideously expensive. Oh, this is, you only needed $300 for this next year.
so the cell phone for Tammy and Glenn.
So why has that gone up significantly since last year?
Which one are you on, Brianna?
177? That's what we're talking about, right? The cell
Yes.
phone reimbursement?
Yep,
This went up, it's $40 a month. That's the lowest reimbursement we have for cell phone reimbursement. Right now, we have a $40 and an $80 level. And with this discussion we've had, plus some others that have been going on long before you guys started, first of all, I think we're probably going to end up with a cell phone policy that we do not have now. And the selectmen would have to approve that. I need to create that, and it wouldn't be hard to do. And I might think about talking with them about an additional category of $25 a month for somebody like Tammy that does use it, but still is in an office and has a regular phone. The other thing to think about is you can text somebody by email. Most of the use of her cell phone is texting Glenn, which is very efficient to send him in a different place before coming home rather than calling him. So that's the reason he put that in here, was because she does use her own cell phone quite frequently to stay in touch with him.
Yeah, but all of these people basically have text and email capabilities on their phone, on their personal phones anyway, so it's not as if we're asking them to get a cell phone to do that.
That's true.
So, you want a motion?
Has anybody looked into getting a cell phone plan for the town?
Oh, yeah, I looked into it after our last meeting. First of all, the fire department, I don't think we should take away that technology from them, and that includes David Benton as well, because they get notices. When the fire rings, they get a notice on their cell phone. That's kind of like an old pager, but just better information that tells them where the fire is. They also get a map, an automatic map. You open up your cell phone, there's a blue or a red dot on the road. It shows you a GIS image of where the fire is.
Is that an app that they have to pay extra for?
I don't think so. I don't know the answer to that, but if it is, it's not much money. It may be something that we pay for, I'm not sure. But I can see why we got out of town cell phones long before I got here. We have them when you started here, Julie?
We had the pagers.
Yeah. But if you gave a flip phone, I mean, to save money, obviously you went to a flip phone and voice only. The firemen wouldn't use it.
I wouldn't go with that anyway.
Because
it's so obsolete that, I mean, it's basically something you would have in a car if you needed something in an emergency. That's what flip phones are good for.
York County deputies have flip phones, so they're voice only.
What's that?
The York County deputies. The county
Have
gives them flip phones,
phones.
so they can talk. They can text if they want to do that three-level
Yes.
old-fashioned texting.
I did
which-
that up until, well, actually, I didn't because I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, that's just dinosaurs.
I guess my point is, all of these people have these phones anyway, and if you took away the $40, they're not going to give up the phone. It's their phone. And they're still going to be able to use it.
Yes?
It's like an added
Bonus.
bonus or
That's tricky.
huh?
It's tricky because you can look at it both ways too.
But
How's
if,
that?
if we did our own phones and we bought them, I talked to the Verizon guy yesterday or the day before. The first year, we'd spend $13,000 duplicating what we have now, that I think you added up is just under 10, right?
Actually, it's over 10 now, because I came up with about 10, but then different ones started popping up, and
Yeah, and
it'll be
about
10 plus.
40 to 45% of that was the people at the fire department. Got 3 over there that, 3 that get 80, 2 that get 80, and the rest get 40. So the chief and the deputy chief get 80 a month. The rest of the crew gets 40. And David Benton gets 40. There's one other that gets 80, that's David. And I think that's fair. He's on that thing all the time, David Lowe. So everybody else gets 40.
So the first year you said it would be 13.
And that includes buying the phones. In other words, a 6S is $500 to $600 each. We might pay a little less with a government discount, but that included the phone price. And then we're in the low $50 per month for a data plan for a smartphone. That's coming right off the Verizon rep. So when you hear those numbers, it's going to cost you $52 per month for a data plan for a smartphone, and then we're paying $40. And we don't have the administrative headache. If somebody drives over their phone or it cracks the screen or whatever, the town doesn't have to worry about that. And I heard comments from Matt, who was here when that cell phone business changed, that it was just a nightmare for the town administrator, the treasurer, or the fire chief, or whoever. If it was a town phone, the town's got to replace it. And we don't have that headache now.
So you're saying it's $50 a month per phone?
52.
on a plan if you go through with our own phones?
Yes.
Yes. Currently, we are, because we've got a plan with phones on it right now, a small one. And it is $52.
We have 2 lines on that, I think, now, right?
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
And you would be, how many phones did you base that on?
I think there's 14 total.
How much?
14 total.
I think there's more phones than that that's in here. I mean, the fire department must have,
I think they had 7.
There's 14 currently, before any additions of any new ones this year. You currently have 14. And then there is a town line that has, for the fire department, has some on it. I don't know what those do on that Verizon bill. I have no idea.
I think the only one that's active on that now is me.
No, well, in Wade. And Wade's got a flip
Oh,
phone.
right.
And Glenn's laptop, and David Lowe's got, I would say probably a laptop or something, because it's $26, $27 a month.
David, you in the corner?
No, he split.
Okay. We can talk about it now.
the only reason I was asking is that, I mean, I just got a phone without a plan that doesn't even have a plan, so you don't have, you know, something that's, you say you have 4 lines, whatever you get. But I have automatic payment, and for 1 line, it's $40. I would think if, you know, you see, okay, you have 4 phones, you would pay less per month, and that includes text, email, attachments, anything.
Well, I don't know if we're buying a bigger, I think it was a 2 gig data plan per unit with shared gigs in between all 7 or however many members it would be. So if I didn't use my 2 gigs, and Jan is the public works director, she needed more, I mean, that would automatically shovel over to her, we wouldn't pay for that. So I don't know what you're talking about plans. I think we're getting down into operations here. I think
Yeah.
you should make the statement that you want to, whether it's in a cover memo or right here or continuous through this, and tell the selectmen what you think. But we don't have time to really debate the whole cell phone usage operationally, nor should we. I mean, you're a budget committee. Say what you want in spending the money or not, and then follow up with an explanation and discussion with selectmen, and we can have
Okay.
that.
Because I'm certainly not for buying the phones and having us responsible for the phones.
Thank you.
And because people tend not to take care of things that they're not paying for.
Yep.
You know, it's like, okay, I drop it, in the water, I do this to it, because it's not mine, I know I already have my own phone.
Right.
But for now, I will make a
We went over this
motion
one?
for
This
177.
one?
I've dropped it a few times.
Motion for what, Donna?
Line 177,
Yep.
that we bring it back to 480 and just have a cell phone for Glenn.
Is there a second?
Oh, sorry, I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion? I think that, I really think that Tammy needs a cell phone. I know she's got the office phone, but.
She has a
seems-
cell phone.
But she does use it to contact Glenn.
But she already has a cell phone.
I understand that.
It's not that
See,
she's
this
losing,
is the
I mean,
slippery slope. You're not losing it, I know, but you
I mean,
need
is
to
she
be
having to
compensated.
pay extra on her plan every month because she's using it for what?
We, with my business, if I have an employee and they use their personal cell phone for business work, I have to reimburse them.
Okay,
Yeah.
but
So
but this isn't a business.
this is business.
And, well, the taxpayer is paying
It's
for
the town of
this.
Waterboro.
And it's just, in my way of seeing it, it's another piece of a raise, is you're giving them extra money per month for this.
I understand. I understand where you're coming from.
This 480 from last year was just covering, what was
We've
that?
been
number?
covering Glenn all
$40 a
along.
month for one person.
For one, so this 960 is covering Tammy.
Yes.
And Glenn.
And Glenn.
80 times 12.
Right.
There's been a second, there's been a motion and a second to accept the 480. Any more discussion? No? All in favor? All opposed?
1 to 2 fails. And how about another motion?
A motion that we accept, hold on, let me find it here, the $960 for both cell phones.
I second that.
Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed?
2 to 1. Thank you. And the other big difference here is the vehicle. You already voted on the legal. Do you want 6,500 for vehicle or 0 for using the cruiser one more year?
I'm for using the cruiser one more year. I don't know what type of vehicle you're gonna get for $6,500.
You'd get a
Gonna be, does he know
5-year-old
somebody?
SUV.
Does he know somebody that's gonna get him a special vehicle?
If the county didn't have any of their SUV cruisers, which they regularly turn in, but they're pretty tired. I mean, you can find a 5-year-old SUV for that if you had to. We don't use it much. It
I
doesn't
know
have to
you
do
don't
much.
use it much, but depending on the vehicle, but it also means that you're gonna have headaches and repairs and everything else too,
We have
so.
that now, so, but
And my question is, Glenn's been here how many years?
3.5?
Now, has he been using that car
No,
since he's been here?
we didn't have it when he first got here. We've had that for going on 2 years.
Right.
Yeah.
So he was using his own vehicle
Yes,
for some time
yes,
and getting to the sites.
yeah,
And he was using that vehicle and getting to the sites.
right. You gotta pay mileage for a personal vehicle,
Yep, I know that.
yeah.
But he also had this old cruiser.
He's only had that for about 2 of the 3.5 years he's been here. He uses the cruiser pretty much exclusively now. He's got an all-wheel drive vehicle now, but unless
He had one then too, a pickup.
unless he needs that, he'll take the town car.
So if he already has an all-wheel drive personal vehicle, I mean, it would still pay mileage for him,
Right,
as we
but
did before.
You should minimize your personal vehicle usage for staff that does it a lot. I mean, if you get in an accident, it's his insurance and not the town's that pays.
But you just said we don't use the vehicle a lot.
Well, you're mixing apples and oranges here. We don't put a lot of miles. We bought an SUV. We buy whatever vehicle we buy. We don't put a lot of miles on it for inspections. But if you're having somebody that regularly goes out 2 to 5 times a day, I think your code officer should have a town car, not just for visibility, but because the town should insure that and protect him. And I don't think your personal vehicle should be your main vehicle for code enforcement inspections. Just from an insurance standpoint. That's why the travel line went down. I mean, it was at 1,500 in last year, 16, 17. And we peeled off some of the repair money for that, but that, we've taken the mileage reimbursement, a good chunk of that out.
We've paid $663 in mileage to him this year so far.
That's with the cruiser.
Yep.
He does not take the,
$663 in mileage
Yes,
for
to him, to reimburse for travel when we haven't had the
for his
cruiser.
personal vehicle.
Yes.
he does not take the cruiser out of town for meetings, conferences, et cetera.
So what are the out-of-town meetings for?
He's got an annual CEO convention. It's a 2-day gig that's put on a lot by the state, and that's valuable information to go to. There is a Maine State Building Code officials, like MBOIA, Maine Building Officials Inspectors Association, I guess it is. They have monthly meetings. He doesn't go to many of those, but he goes to some. They're directly related to his job. Do you think he should be taking his personal vehicle without the town reimbursing him? Is
Well,
that
no,
where you're going?
I mean, to go to these meetings, he should take his personal vehicle and the town reimburses it. I mean, I think that's the way most of it is done.
But would you rather us not have the cruiser and pay more in mileage reimbursement?
On a daily basis?
Yeah. We're paying nothing for the cruiser now, other than gas and,
Right.
maintenance and tires, so, I mean, that's,
And we would technically be getting one in another few years, right? Is our,
they're turning them over all the time. We don't have to wait for our guys to,
okay, but when our guys turn it over, we get the vehicle, correct?
not the most recent one. Sean's, we bought. This one, I think the county will own after, but we can buy it if we want to. That's down the road.
Could I ask a
The-
question?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
If he's using his own vehicle and he has an accident, I mean, I know sometimes they can contract and they won't cover you because if you have a policy for just personal vehicle use, it's not a commercial policy.
Right.
Does he have a commercial policy, or
I,
if he has just a regular residential policy, I mean, they could disallow his,
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen before.
Yeah.
They'll say, what were you doing? He'll say, well, I was going out to do an inspection. And they'll say, well, that's, you're not commercially insured. You're just insured for a passenger vehicle.
Right.
I don't know if he did that.
I mean, I would assume that, and I'm assuming here, so I don't know, that he would have had that because he was using his vehicle when he started the job. And if he had been a CEO wherever else he was, he knows what having a vehicle and using it for work and going to job sites means he had to carry certain insurance because he works for the town. It's just that when we got the extra vehicle a couple of years ago, it seemed like it was put it to good use to give it to the CEO so he wouldn't have to take his vehicle. Now, last year, we voted on the truck. And he was supposed to be using the truck, and that was going to be when he needed to go to a site that you say, I should have a four-wheel drive vehicle to get to that site.
Yep.
It's not that he needs a four-wheel drive to get to every site that he goes to. And we voted for the truck for specifically for him to share a truck with the custodian and any department who needed it. And we voted the money for that. And that's morphed into something different.
No, not necessarily. Maybe in the minds of some, but I mean, budgetarily, it's there for the seasonal guy that used to be in rec, now it's under Public Works. It's there for Pete to use here on a daily basis when he goes to the transfer station, and Glenn for four-wheel drive mud inspections.
I mean, aren't most inspections scheduled?
Obviously, yes.
Okay. So he would know when he's going to a job site, when he would need a vehicle. So
A
if
day or
he's
two
going to
before,
one of
perhaps.
those, the 17-lot subdivision or one up in Arrowhead, he would know that I need this vehicle on this particular day, and, that somehow they can coordinate it that this truck has to be here for him to use, on a certain day.
Most of the time you can do that. Sometimes things happen that you have to go that day when the phone rings if there's a problem, but, yeah. I guess I don't know where you're going with this discussion.
Well, are we going to spend more money
Do you want to spend, do
for, if this happens, then
you want to
let's-
buy the second-hand vehicle or go with zero?
I want to go with zero.
Okay.
So make
That's
your
where
motion.
I was going.
So make your motion.
Yeah,
Well, I know, we should have had it to the discussion after the motion. I make a motion for to line 180, is it 180? No, 179, to bring it to 0 and not authorize the secondhand vehicle.
Okay. We have a motion, we have a second? I'll second it. Any more discussion? Or we pretty much
Kind of like, did
discussioned
that
out?
flop that one up?
Please, Lord, no.
Okay, so what we're voting on is to bring the total cost of the new vehicle from $6,500 down to $0.
There's no new vehicle there, please.
Well,
Right, we'd be voting
Used.
with no vehicle.
No vehicle, we'll be going with no vehicle instead of $6,500 for a used one.
Right.
All in favor?
3-0. Thank you. So I'm sorry I don't have a total here, but if you want to make a motion and accept the other lines in, I guess these are, the rest of them the same, I mean, you could do that, and I would fill those in and bring that to you next week.
So the 5,500, I mean the 1,500
Where I,
would stay there, right?
that's for vehicle repairs.
Okay.
We
And
created-
that was the one, it would be for the cruiser or
Yes.
et cetera.
Oil changes, tires, other repairs.
And how much have we used, do you have that figure, Julie?
To repair it,
That we budgeted 1,500 last year?
code enforcement repair of equipment, we've spent just under $300 right now.
Just under 300?
Mm-hmm.
Do we know what year it is?
For this year or last year, Julie?
No, oh,
Currently,
currently.
Okay, then her number's probably right. The year before we spent less, so.
The year before we spent what?
Less.
Okay. I mean, should I make a motion and then discuss it?
You can make a motion and then we can discuss
Okay.
it.
I make a motion to reduce line 180 to $1,000.
Okay.
I'll second it.
It's been seconded.
I guess I would speak against that and stay with the 15, because I know he wants to put studs on this car, and I think that's a smart idea.
Yeah, I was gonna say, stay with the 15, it's old.
That's a few $100.
You never know what, you never know what's
Yeah,
gonna
well,
happen
that's why I
next.
was going with, I didn't want to go down to 5. You stay with 1,000 because you still have, it's old, that's why I was asking how old it is. Because there's always something that's going to happen.
This line is for maintenance, that's what this is for?
Yes,
Okay.
Change your oil, fix something wrong with the car.
Did they use all of 1,500? The last?
No, Julie says we're down to, we've only used 300.
what they used last year, Gary, I don't have that.
You don't have the year before? But as you say, it's getting older each year, so. But based on the 300 through January of this year.
You know, actually, that was the year we hadn't split it apart. So for the travel line, which was mileage, and we had also been paying for the vehicle out of that, we spent over $2,000 for mileage reimbursement and fixing the car. And I don't have that split.
All right, and actually, she gave us the mileage reimbursement so far this year.
Just this year.
That
just
was
Was
this year.
$663.
Right.
So I think it'd be a fair guess that we spent about $1,000, maybe more, on repairs.
But do we have, can we take that money out of a fund if it came down to it?
Took it out of a fund. I mean,
Like you talk about, or do we have to vote on
if
that?
we don't have if the total code enforcement bottom line budget still has money into it, then what I do is I bill things accordingly to the right line that they should be. Even if I know that, let's say, we lost the engine of the transmission and we put $2,000 into the vehicle, which I don't think I'd do, but let's just say we did. I would let that line go into the red, and hopefully some other expenditures, maybe legal, would make that up, so that the bottom line for code enforcement is not over budget. That's where it gets to be problematic, if the selectmen need to move money around into a different department. If the whole department, the code enforcement bottom line goes over. That argument holds for any
I
department.
mean,
not just
because
one.
my question was, if something happened next November, December, that if we voted for $1,000 for that line, and something happened and we were already up to $1,200, and it needed another $400 in repair.
Decide at that time whether to fix it or junk it, and if the line's over, then make your adjustments and underspend in some other areas within the code enforcement budget.
But you could still do that, you could,
Yes,
and
Be
then
just
we
like
would
fixing
adjust
the
it.
furnace when we've lost 2
Right.
furnaces, so.
So we could still reduce it to $1,000, and if he doesn't use it,
you can. You have a motion and a second, why not take a vote?
Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor of reducing the vehicle repairs from $1,500 down to $1,000, you said?
yes.
Okay, down to $1,000. All in favor? 1. All opposed? 2.
Okay, now,
Okay.
Perhaps another motion.
yep.
Yes, I would make a motion that we accept the $1,500.
And I would second that.
Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed?
2-1, thank you.
Now, do you go back up and vote those lines that you're accepting
Yes.
as
The
a
total.
blanket vote, or?
You could blanket the rest of these if you
Yeah.
want to, just say, I agree with the remaining town administrator numbers or something along those lines. Outside of what you haven't done already.
Advertising, is that for meetings or,
Advertising is for, like the ZBA.
okay.
They have to be advertised in the paper.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's, because it almost doubled, so, and I know
Right.
that a lot of, there's been
Now,
probably a doubling of the meetings.
with the
that I've-
ZBA,
Oh, more-
ZBA has their own budgeting for advertising, though,
Oh,
so
do they?
don't use, that, this would be with code enforcement.
okay.
Okay, so what is,
He's done some classes here, advertising for that. There's money that's coming back from registrants. We have people come in here to do a training class.
because there's a minus number over there in column H and in column I, under actual budget expended.
Incidentals,
Huh?
incidentals. That's what that was coded to, so.
But wasn't that
Okay.
also money that we got from fines that comes in as a negative expense, which is revenue?
Mhm.
So when you see those minuses over there, those have been offset by monies that
Okay,
people have paid the town because of a consent agreement with selectmen, could be a court action, it could be a simple municipal fine. So that minus is actually an additional amount
Okay.
of money that we took in.
but, okay, so the question still comes back is, what are we advertising?
The only thing I can remember, Donna, is classes that he does here once or twice a year for other regional CEOs or area CEOs. For contractors that have to be shoreline zoning certified, you run a training class here. And, well, let's look.
So,
What did we
and
spend?
how much, I mean, when do they usually have the classes? Actually, it doesn't,
A lot of times it's in mud season, just before.
because I was gonna say, how much have we expended this past year, but if it's mud season,
We don't
we
have an
haven't got
advert,
to it yet.
we didn't have an advertising line.
What's that?
We currently spent $75.
And do you know what it was the year before? I mean, because there's
I don't
nothing,
have that with me, no.
okay, because there is nothing,
We didn't have it, we didn't have a line that year, Donna.
okay.
We had incidentals in there, but I don't see a,
So it might have
An
even just
advertising.
came in under that.
could have, I guess. I don't think we spent $945 in incidental advertising for the code department, though.
Okay.
Is there a motion? Oh, on it? No? Okay. So, Figure out how I'm gonna word this.
You want to duplicate all other town administrative columns from 167 down to 186
Yes.
that haven't been decided?
Yep. Make a motion that we do that.
Okay.
I second that.
Rows 169,
167 to
167.
186.
167, yep, sorry. 186, not changed. Okay,
Right.
seconded, Brianna?
Sure,
Yeah.
yep.
Yep. Any discussion? No? All in favor? All opposed?
2 to 1. Okay. Overlay at the bottom gets no money, which has been done inherently, I guess. I had a philosophical discussion with Dennis and the board that maybe we should put some money in there for abatements, but haven't wanted to do that. So that's what the overlay is for, but on the expense side, we don't know what it's going to be. So we're not going to raise it again in the budget here. So library, I made a change. I'll take you to row 195 on page 8. And I think previous figure we had in here was 68. And new librarian Julie Hoyle has been doing some figuring with the scheduling moving forward, and she wanted to add $3,000 to that. So that's why that reads at 71. And I think, Julie, you agreed with that?
I hadn't
you?
had a chance to figure hers,
Okay,
because I just got it when you got that message.
okay. Well, it's always nice to have a little more than what you need than not enough, and we're certainly on that end. You've got the conferences and the other things in here that she spoke to you about when she was here. So I think that the bottom line of 103,953 would be my final numbers to you.
Where was that?
Row 192,
Okay, 192.
the bottom line, in the gray.
Yep. 103,953. Now, this includes the minimum wage going up, so this includes everybody else getting their.
Yep, we've been working slowly but surely. Everybody that works there now is at $10.
Okay.
And it wasn't that way. Gosh, when I started here, I think we were, what, at 8? But, yeah, we've at least reached the $10 level with everybody there.
Right. Right. I'll make a motion to accept the 103,953 for the total library budget.
I second.
Any discussion?
So by approving that, we're approving all these numbers under
That's correct.
library?
Yep. Everything under this, Brianna, totals up. It totals out.
It totals up to that, right? I'm
Yes.
just making sure.
Yep.
So like I can understand retirement. Oh wait, that went down actually. Haven't all the other retirements gone up?
Different rate of pay on individual, different individual included.
Okay. So under like employee costs, what are we covering for travel? So that went up a few hundred. But like what does that cover?
That's reimbursement for Julie to go to the conferences that are listed below there.
Okay.
You know, she approaches the job a little differently. She's academically a trained librarian. She's a member of more of these associations than Ruth was. And she wants to go and be active participant in these associations. And she is now, and she was in her former job. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's going to keep us on top of the digital game and the collections, how to organize them.
Any more discussion? Okay. All in favor of accepting the budget at 103,953 for the library?
3-0, thank you. Parks and Rec, I kept that 84 for the salary line. I don't think there's anything new to talk about here. I wasn't here when Todd was here. I don't know how he spoke about his position, but when he was interim, he was at $48,000 salary. And the gentleman that was here before in that position was at 54. And I certainly know, everybody knows that deals with him knows that Todd is doing more, and I think an improved job, and I think would justifiably get what the previous rec director was getting at 54. So that's why I did that. And you'll see the note there. That's at 54,000.
Well, but two things. One was that Mike had been here for a number of years to work up to 54,000, and had actually developed all these programs and worked his way up. The other thing was that he was also in charge of the Parks Department. And I think we were going into that discussion last year when we were discussing the Parks and Rec salary, because it was, I felt that we needed to reduce it if it was just going to be a recreational department, but we hadn't decided on the Public Works Department being full-time, and that supposedly hinged on what that was going to become. And then we ended up getting a full-time Public Works. So he doesn't have any parks to do with it anymore.
Certainly not as much, not the field work. But I guess the counter to that is to see what they're doing in terms of more and better recreation programs, working with our neighbors. There's many more trips involved because they're working with Buxton, Hollis, Alfred, et cetera, filling, nice buses with bathrooms, going to places, and doing more things that are recreation related than mowing grass and doing field work, which is what Mike was good at. But we shouldn't be having a $50,000+ department head out there mowing grass and using a weed whacker. That's administratively inefficient. And I think that's plus the pretty strong argument of how Todd is approaching the job and what type of a job he's doing. I think he's earned that 54. It is a significant job, I understand that. But I think he's filled that, and Lisa also helps out a great deal in doing more of the traditional rec programs.
Anything else?
Can we jump around lines in here?
Sure.
So if we switch down to 241, the phone reimbursement, I don't mean to reopen that can of worms.
There are two more in there
Okay.
at $40 per month that he has asked for. So
Okay.
certainly if you wanted to make a change or a note there, I think without question Todd should continue to get the 40. But there are two new ones in there that would be $480 apiece.
So this 480 is just covering his. But then,
Wait a minute. That's,
Todd wants $80 a month for his.
oh, right. Okay, so I'm sorry. Yeah, Todd's asking for 80.
You see why I get a little upset.
I'm just trying to process it
And
all.
two others at 40.
So what is the 80?
And I don't even, are they even full-times? They're part-timers, right? Or one's
They're the
25?
Funergy folks, before and after school. They do use their phone a lot. They're talking to parents and texting parents quite a bit. I went along with it because philosophically it's either all or nothing. I mean, if we're going to reimburse people at a nominal way, that's why I'm really leaning towards a $25 third level if we're going to go this way. And I think, I'm glad Tim's here, we're going to have that discussion with selectmen on whether or not a cell phone policy takes care of all of this.
So the third level for the non-full-time employees?
I would say the third level would be couched as intermittent use and possibly, already in an office, or like the Funergy over here. There is a phone over there, but when they're outside with the kids, I mean, how far do you go with this is right. Tammy's texting Glenn. That's efficient. do we want to pay for that or not? We have to make that decision, and we have to put it in the policy, I think, that says we will or will not. And, you know, Tammy can text him by email, and if we have that as a policy, that's fine. So, yeah, I misspoke here. This is not just 3 people at 40. This is one person going from 40 to 80 and 2 others at 40. So if you want to take it back, you can see, if you go to the right, it was just $480 before, and that was Todd only at $40.
Any motions?
I would almost make the motion that it stay at 480.
480.
Yeah.
I second.
Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor?
3-0. For the road total to be 480,
Yeah.
as it is this year, right? That's what you're saying?
Row 241, the cell phone reimbursement.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the only other,
The only one I
the
saw
other
was-
substantive changes on the next page, row 252, the program expenses went up to, I guess, closer to meeting the need, if you will. I've got to look at the whole year here for that. We spent just south of $43,000 in FY16-17. 42,675, yep, that number's correct,
For the whole year? Is
for
that
the
what
whole
you said?
year, yeah. He's looking for probably a few $1,000s in, excuse me, equipment. I'm gonna have to get a drink here. That's part of that 60, not all of it. There would be some more people. They've already started camp registrations. They know that they are going to have greater demand. They have for quite some time. And while I go get a drink, Julie can jump in here to, if you have any other knowledge of what that 45 to 60 is. I don't right now.
You got a calculator on that? Sorry, can I borrow it? Because my phone is in my desk.
You can set that line aside if you want, or move to other things. And I can have Todd here next week also, if you wish.
Thank you. I may need it again, but
I'll leave it there.
The other one would be line 254, it doubled incidentals. Is that just an extra little emergency fund kind of
Back up,
thing?
you got it, yep.
And let's see, so he did use all of that, no? How much of that 500 did he use
They
last
spent
year?
180, go to column H. That's what they spent in 16, 17.
Okay,
See it?
I do, yep, thank you. Is he thinking that there's gonna be some big expense coming up, or is he just hoping that?
For the incidental line?
Yeah.
No, we don't have a big contingency fund. That's why I put, in mind for general government, what did I take it to? I took it to 7,500, which is an increase of $5,000. You bumped it down to 5, but even that, when a boiler goes, I mean, it's not enough. So I don't disagree with his philosophy. I mean, if you want to take that to 500, that's not going to be a big deal. If something really breaks, we're gonna buy it and figure out the dollars. If it's something that we have to have.
He spent $100 to date.
And it's 254?
Yes,
That's 254?
yep.
I'll make a motion, we move, line 254 back to $500.
I would second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
3-0, thank you.
I have a question, and it's about insurance. Do we have to pay certain insurances for the people that work
Sure.
in Parks and Rec?
We have
with all-
liability insurance for everybody that works for us. Yep. One policy for everybody in town. Well, no, we have a separate policy for volunteer firefighters. Everybody else is under the blanket liability. Workman's comp, obviously, in addition to that.
No, I was just wondering about the employees that work with kids and
Oh,
their
yeah.
liability when kids get hurt or,
Mhm.
So we'll come back to 252?
Yeah.
Next week?
Yeah, we can come
Is
back to
that
it
what
next
you're
week.
saying?
Where are you?
Line 252, the program expenses, they're bumping it from 45 to 60.
So, you want me to have him here next week for that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Okay. Want to just leave rec and move on to planning board?
Can I ask you to change one figure?
Yeah.
All right, if you're gonna stay with Todd at the 54,000,
Yep.
you've gotta increase that line to 84,650 with Lisa and the boat dock.
Which line are you talking?
226. There isn't enough there with his hike and the 2.5% for the staff that we have currently.
So you got 54 plus 30.
54, Lisa is 26,650 and Kristen is $4,000.
So what should the total be?
84,650.
for the line?
For 226, if you leave,
Oh, 54 and 30 is 84. I guess I don't understand, Julie.
5,400
54,000, 26,000, 4,000 is 84,000.
and add 650. Lisa's is $26,650.
Oh, okay. All right. Change mine to 84,650
So
then.
I have a question on, was Lisa given a raise during this past year? I mean, it's in the,
Yes, everybody was in terms of cost of living.
no, this is in addition to the cost of living.
Well, she took a big bump when Mike left, and we bumped her up significantly because the job responsibilities increased immediately. And what's the sheet there say? Where is she at right now?
$20.
Yeah,
20,
I think she was at 16 or 17 before.
1681.
Yep. She went from 1681, which was a 2.5%, to the 20 when she stepped up, and with a 2.5%, it'll be $20.50 an hour.
Which I'd say for, an admin is probably on the high end, but certainly for that year of interim, I think that was justified. There's a lot going on there. I'm not one to bounce people back in an hourly wage unless there's a drastic change. And I think moving forward, they're doing more work, more programs, more advertising. She creates all those flyers and does all that type of administrative support that she's very good at, and that's not Todd's strength, so. I'm not recommending that her hourly wage go down. You can if you want to, but I'm
What
not.
line is this?
It's part of line 226.
Administrative
Is-
assistant in there, 25
Here's the
hours.
printout here that I'm talking about. A year ago, she was at 1681,
Yeah.
and
She's
when,
$20 an hour.
yep, and then she gets cost of living on top of that.
So right now she makes $20.50 an hour.
She will in the new budget.
She will look at the budget.
There's a push to have more hours and have that full-time, and I did not agree with that, and obviously Todd did not either. Everybody would like to have benefits, we can't blame them for that.
You gonna make a motion or anything?
Well, I guess we can make some motions. Because I still feel that that amount is too much money.
The $84,650? Is that what you're looking at?
What line? I'm looking at the salary.
226.
226.
What would you rather it be?
I think that last year, I think it shouldn't be any more than 48, in the 45 to 48 range.
You're looking at line 226?
I'm looking at line 226, and I'm looking at Todd's salary, the full-time director.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
What was he paid last?
For the interim, after he took over, it was at 48,
And so you're thinking of bumping it up to 54,000? That's what this,
which is what the previous director received. for
Even though
salary.
he lost responsibilities for part of his department. I mean,
The parks part, I mean, like I said, I mean, I'm making my case here that that time, that administrative time, I think is being well used for more and better outreach. Our relationship with the school department, and we use their facilities heavily, is switched 180 degrees from what it was. And they're very thankful for that. So there's a whole lot of administrative things that he's doing that you might not see. It's not going to be in a flyer anywhere, but it's the goodwill with the school department, with the athletic director, the communications there, and a better job of communication and the use of the facilities.
I mean, I'm just worried that some of our salaries are getting a little out of whack with a town this size and what we do, and that some people are making quite a bit of money and keep getting jumps, and other people are stagnant, and they don't get.
I don't think anybody's stagnant. We give a COLA to everybody, not some of the
Yeah,
seasonal
but I
help.
mean, Todd essentially gets a $10 an hour raise, and now he's doing more, but does it warrant getting a $10 an hour raise?
Can I say something on his behalf? He's working anywhere from 50 to 60 hours a week, too.
Well, then that's a problem, then he either has to come to the selectman or whoever, or to Gary, to say, we need another person to do this job.
He's not asking that. I mean,
No, he's not.
he's been working that amount for a long, long time.
And not getting paid for it.
I mean, he is salaried.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can work him 100 hours a week and not pay him any overtime. He probably works more hours than anybody else in town and doesn't complain about that.
He loves the kids.
Yeah, he does. He gives his whole heart and soul to it. And I don't agree with the 54 fiscally, Donna, or philosophically either, because I think your argument of giving up the parks Is that sometime? Yes, it is, but please think about having that person do more administrative work and better communication work than being on the end of a weed whacker.
I know, but Mike didn't do all that much weed whacking.
Oh,
and a
yes,
lot
he
of-
did.
Because,
Mowing
He did a-
grass and blowing leaves, he did a lot of that. Picking up trash at Go Beal, every time he'd go by, he and Risty, he did a tremendous amount of that. He always had stuff in the back of his truck that he was picking up or doing. He liked doing that, I think.
Would you feel more comfortable, I'm just throwing this out, at a 2.5% increase on what he currently is earning? Rather than, would you feel more comfortable at a 2, like everybody else, at a 2.5, what everybody else is getting, or you're looking to go back? I don't know which way you're going.
I could see a slight increase, and obviously I don't know anywhere near as much about this. I feel like jumping into the 54,000, what the previous administrator, I mean, how long was the previous administrator there?
14 years.
I feel like that's a bit of a jump.
Were you here for Todd's presentation?
I was,
Okay.
yeah.
Did he speak about the number of hours he works, and did you have questions about that? And,
That's a call.
he's very dedicated. We're lucky to have him. And he throws his heart and soul into those kids. And fiscally and philosophically, I understand where you're coming from. You're trying to save the taxpayer money, and that's admirable, Donna. I just don't think it's, the 48 is justified for how he does what he does and how much he does.
well, when you consider that they're reducing the Limericks recreation director's salary from 3,000 to 1,500, of course, they don't have the programs that we have.
That's
But it
just
shows you that different towns have a different view of what their recreation department. And I think before, the recreation department kept getting inflated more than it should have anyway.
inflated. What does inflated
In
mean?
the
Growing
rate-
too?
No, the salary that they get compared to the towns that we're comparing to. So if you say a town this size, only gets so much money. Like you have surveys. So different rec departments, if you go into the salary department and towns that probably have, because a lot of towns that go into Funergy now are going into these programs, which requires you to have a lot more experience, a lot more hours, a lot more involvement, a lot more programs.
That's why he works 50 to 60 hours a week, largely because of the support for Funergy and other things. I mean, he doesn't spend the Funergy time in here. When he needs to, he's here at 5:45 in the morning if somebody calls out sick. He's up every morning, ready to come here if he needs to be. He used to do all of that physically himself here, and he has some other people that help him now. But go ahead and, make a motion. Let's see what
So I
people
guess
are.
my other point is that why he's not asking for help if he's working that amount of hours. I mean, it's admirable that he is, and it's nice to have a job that you really love,
Mhm.
that you want to work at, but it's because, he really could use some help.
Well, so rather than work the
I
extra
mean,
hours.
he's not getting paid by the hour, so it's a bargain.
So
considering the hourly
rather than
rate.
that, you'd rather have another employee here that will be paid? Come on. You're arguing against yourself right now. That would be another 20-hour-a-week person that we would have to pay, whereas you're getting that with him now, 10 to 20 hours a week.
Plus, what are they bringing in compared to other towns?
What's that?
What are they bringing in compared to other towns?
I don't
I
know.
mean, there's another side to that that's counterbalancing what they're being paid.
We budgeted $90,000 for the Funergy revenue for this year, and I don't think I have a revenue last year. No, I don't.
And the program payroll, what is that, though? Is that a different payroll than the salaries?
That's most of your summer staff.
It's your summer staff and your kids that are, this is your part-time people for Funergy. And, you know, you've got only 2 that are currently getting benefits as far as vacation or sick time. The rest of them are under the hour constraint, but it is the summer staff for the summer camp, that's when the payroll's the biggest.
Sorry, I do have revenue. Last year, in 16-17, we budgeted $150,000 on the revenue side that we were going to take in from rec programs. This year, we're budgeting 172, another 20,000. Part of that is because of what Todd has done. $20,000 additional revenue. In tightening up some of the, you know, money coming and going, as well as more programs, we've got a whole new, not fly fishing, lacrosse program that the high school coach, the coach really kind of started that. And hi, Dave. Are we starting at 6:30? I hope. Oh, nuts.
Is
Okay.
it 6?
I think it's
But that
6.
doesn't mean,
Oh, because Gary's memo said 6:30.
Yeah,
That's what I thought you were saying.
that's what I meant.
And you didn't correct it.
Whoops.
Because he's an EDC member.
I think we, in all fairness, we probably said 6 a couple of months ago, but,
Yeah.
anyway, well,
no,
we,
certainly will be.
where were we? Revenues. So, yeah, you've got a budget request of 289, 290 here, and 172 of that is revenue that the program takes in, so, very considerable amount of revenue. Plus the fact that it's gone up 20,000, I think speaks positively towards paying Todd more.
Is there a motion? No? Okay.
You want to leave it and move to another department, or what do you want to do?
Yep, and we went through to another department.
So the only decision we had on rec was to reduce the cell phone to 480,
Yes.
okay?
In
No,
incidentals.
Incidentals down to 500
Oh,
too, right?
incidentals.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, planning board, these are easy. We stayed at $25 per meeting if the person attends, so you can see that there's no change there.
So this is exactly the same from last year.
Yes,
Okay.
7 planning board members, if they attend, they get $25. Same legal budget in here, they do sometimes rack up legal fees, that stayed the same.
All right, I make a motion, we accept the planning board at $10,100.
Second that.
Any discussion? No? All in favor?
3-0, thank you. Planning Department, significant change here. We're eliminating $50,000 that went to Southern Maine Planning and Development Commission, which is in the bottom of page 10. We wrote 276, that red note there. And with the selectmen's recommendation, I'm following that lead to hire a new full-time planner, either 32 or 40 hours, to do both the planning board liaison and assistance and economic development liaison that we're meeting with in a few minutes here, and a salary up to $60,000. And I've got to tell you, if you think we're going to challenge in hiring a 32 or 40-hour week assessor, hiring a good planner that's also would be good with EDC, it's going to be a challenge. There have been so many towns that have been looking, and the number of applications is minimal of qualified people. So this is what's before us, and I think we should vote accordingly and hope for the best, I guess. Don't have a whole lot of confidence we're going to have the
So
right person.
why are we eliminating the Southern Maine?
If we're going to have a planner, we don't need to have
Okay.
them here. It was 50 total for them, no benefits for those 2 people. Lee J was the planning liaison, and he was at 35,000, and I think we used most of that. The EDC fellow, Chuck Morgan, who'll be here in a few minutes, was at 15,000, and I don't even think we used 10 of his services. We
So
lumped
is
them all
that
together.
the feeling that they want to go with a full-time planner again? We had a full-time planner, right? Wasn't that Tom Mercer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Somebody that can.
Part of the reason, and Tim can speak to this, is I think there's a number of people that would like to have somebody here more than a day, a Wednesday every other week or every Wednesday for businesses and prospective businesses to come in and meet with. If you want to bring a business
That's
to
all
Waterbury.
that they were here, the Southern Maine?
At least every other Wednesday when they had a planning board meeting. And a lot of times he'd come on off Wednesdays and do things here with citizens, business people, if he needed to meet with somebody. We could talk to him and have him here any day of the week, but it was by appointment. Whereas
Okay,
this
so we
person-
were actually paying a contract, is that was
Yes.
the deal? And we could call him when we wanted him, but
Yes.
we didn't always call, we weren't utilizing it.
If he didn't have work to do for that week, we didn't get billed. And that's fine. We got a lot of zoning things done, a lot of project work done. He's fast in terms of revamping a zoning ordinance, and we made good use of that. This new person is going to have some zoning experience, some planning board experience, and have at least the personality and the get up and go and the customer service skills to work with economic development work too.
With Tom, someone could just come in off the street that was thinking of opening a business in Waterboro, and he'd be right there, and he would pick it up and run with it.
Lee J will do that, but he's not here, and I mean, anybody that calls him, and people do call him, we send calls his way. He'll talk with them and meet with them, look at their plans and talk with them about zoning. It's just not as convenient, if you will, and business friendly.
Yeah, he's done a great job, Lee J. He's in demand throughout the state, all the major cities.
He works for 4 towns now.
Good guy.
And is this, and you're saying it's a full-time position that you're looking for?
I would try and kind of like we did with assessing, I would advertise it at 32 to 40 hours. And if a person only wanted a 4-day work week, I think that would fit well here. We're not, at the moment anyway, we're not open on Mondays to the public.
So you wouldn't consider 3 days a week, or?
The selectmen were talking, I'm following their lead of full-time, at least for the moment. If we bounce down to that, I mean, we can keep Lee J here and have him here more days per week if, I don't know how he's gonna carve that out of his schedule. I mean, that's an option. And if this falls apart and we don't find the person that we want, we'll keep using him. But he's not gonna be here. I mean, he's at, I think, $80 an hour contract price, so. If we're gonna have him here, we need to give him project work so that when he's here, he's not just warming a chair, waiting for somebody to come in, he's actually doing things, and he does that. When he comes here to work, he's actually doing work at his desk, and not just warming the chair. There's Chuck Morgan himself,
Oh, there he is.
talking about possibly reducing your contract salary for starting July 1st.
Yeah, I know, getting a lot.
It's not new to Chuck, so it's not anything you didn't know.
Yeah, it's not a surprise walk in and go,
Right.
oh.
So we're wrapping up the budget committee, and
Oh,
I
did
s-
I walk in on the budget committee?
yeah, I sent out the notice for 6:30.
6:30?
Yeah, but 2 months ago we said 6,
Okay,
so,
Yeah.
sorry.
that's okay. I apologize for butting in.
So any other questions on that line 276 or things in and out of the planning department?
Do I hear a motion on it? Or do you want to see? it
No,
next
I
week?
want to sit on that, and think about
Okay.
that. I would like to go quickly to the zoning board of appeals, because I know you can't vote on this,
Right.
right?
What line is that, 290?
290, and that's a pretty straightforward, they get a salary. And that's basically stayed the same for
That's the same.
the last
Yep.
few years. But I make a motion to accept 290 at 2225.
A second.
All in favor?
Okay.
201, one
Yes,
abstention.
one abstention.
What's that?
One abstention, that would be Mr. Southworth. He's not voting.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
He gets one.
That's why I went to it,
Yep,
so that we could get it out.
yep. Public safety, Matt will be here next Thursday.
Okay.
So take this home and mark things up. Let's see, what else can we do here? Hydrant rental, we'll leave that. Well, you could start at hydrant rental and do Ross Corner, bottom of page 13. I put in another $3,000. I know the water district wants a rate increase. They told us that same thing last year and did not either pursue or get it. So, if you stay at 45 and we don't need it at the end, I guarantee you the selectmen will take it down to 42. Because David will know whether or not they're even going to pursue or qualify for that from the PUC before we're done with budget matters.
So we should wait then?
You want to? Well, no, you're going to be done with your recommendations before he knows that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you'll be done your things hopefully before the end of February,
Okay.
so. But that doesn't mean that can't go down. Things can always go down.
I make a motion that we, line 361, that we reduce it back to 42,000.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Any discussion? All in favor?
3-0. Thank you. Ross Corner Fire Department, and remember it's line 365, it went down the year we're in now. And the year before under column G, it was just under 12,000. They were putting in new overhead doors. And this year we're in now is at 9760 with some very minor increases there at 10,120. And beyond their budget, if you look right
It's
there.
split between us three towns.
That's correct, evenly. Old school volunteer outfit that does great work for almost no money there. I don't think they pay anybody anything. I think it's totally volunteer. Darn near it anyway. The chief probably gets a stipend.
Do I hear any motions? 365, right?
Yes.
I make a motion to accept 10,120 for the Ross Corner Fire Company.
I second?
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
3-0, thank you. Health and sanitation, there was a bump there, and if you look at line 375, and I just did that today, Julie was doing some quality control work here, that retirement went up a little,
And you've got to put up 372.
372,
Goes up to 92,368.
92,368. You got a bottom line total up top there?
No,
Did you
I'm
do that?
sorry, I don't.
Okay,
Apologize.
let me give you that while you guys are thinking.
So what goes up there?
92,368 goes to salaries.
Salaries, 92, 368.
It is 372.
There it is.
And it shows a difference in 375 where Gary put it.
So with that check on my math before, the bottom line in row 369 under my column should be 470 and 243. 470,243. The total for the transfer station.
Jumping down to line 382, what's the hot top? Is that the,
That's paving in and around
they want it
where you
reviewed?
take your trash, up on the upper level there where you dump your trash into the hopper. Didn't you tell me you'd never been to the transfer
No,
station?
I've been.
Okay.
I just don't have to dump the garbage. Benefits of having an awesome dad.
We've, you can see, well, for several years, we haven't had that in there. I think that pretty much that whole apron, or that whole paved area out in front of the compactor where you dump your household rubbish, It's been patched repeatedly, and it was his suggestion that we actually do a skim coat over that, and that's what the 7,500 is. It was in his proposal in years before, but obviously there was never anything funded, so this is not the first time he's put that in there. One year it was $10,000, that might have been 2 years ago.
Wasn't that in the CIP though,
For his request.
years ago?
I think he had some hot top in there,
Okay.
under his budget 1 or 2 years ago, but either way, you can say yay or nay to that.
Make a motion, we accept, under health and sanitation, the whole thing, 470,243.
I'd like to wait.
Yeah, I second that.
Okay,
So,
Right.
if nobody seconds his motion, it dies.
It dies.
Right.
yep, okay,
All
so,
right. You're gonna wait for, if I have homework to do, what are you waiting for?
just to go through some of the numbers.
Yeah, I have several.
Okay, nothing's changed since,
I know.
these two things that we did, so.
We're under.
But I think
health
I
and
have notes
sanitation.
that I probably made on a previous copy
Okay.
that I might want to come back to.
Do you want me to have him here next week? I was not planning on doing that.
I thought Public Works,
David will be here, but
David
I was
will
not
be
gonna
here.
have Clint here. So I guess
I would say,
what's your reluctance? Where
I
are the
don't-
areas that are floating
I
around in your
have no
mind?
idea. I just know that I've made notes on another spreadsheet.
Okay. I won't ask him to come.
I mean,
unless
don't
you
ask,
folks-
yes.
I'm sorry?
I says, no, don't ask Clint to come.
Okay. In that case, let's see, Public Works, we'll do it with David next week, for detail. So it says funds, you could do general assistance, bottom of 17, over onto 18, if you wish.
Education.
Nancy's pretty good at realizing, what she thinks she's gonna need here, and you can see the budget has gone down a little bit. Rent, we're still at, over on the next page, line 481, and helping people out with rent is at 40, and the
481. I'm on page 18.
we paid just under $30,000 last fiscal year, the entire 16-17 year. Yep, 29,395, that number's correct in here. And you can see it, actual expended in the far right column, on the column J.
Yeah.
We spent north of 53,000 with, a few people that obviously don't live here anymore. That's what's happened. She knows when, Joe Smith is moving out of town, it's no longer gonna need rental assistance from us. She adjusts her budget accordingly. But you never know what's gonna be coming in the door for a new person, but so far, she's been pretty spot on.
I make a motion, we accept the general assistance at 52,920.
Second?
How much money?
52,920 on 477.
Where are you,
Line 47, rather than just make the motion that we accept the whole general
Oh,
assistance.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Okay, so you want to go back
Okay.
to 464?
all right, so the motion for line
465.
That's what I
52,920, okay.
So it's 63,666.
63,666.
Okay.
Is that what we're doing?
Yep,
Okay.
and I second that.
Okay. All in favor?
3-0, thank you. Education, in terms of the school, they had one meeting in here with a few selectmen from RSU towns, and it's gonna be, boy, we'll be lucky to have a figure from them by the end of March. Legislative activity up in Augusta is hinging on this. Top of page 19, we're in the capital improvement plan, which are big, expensive capital items. Do you want to spend a few remaining minutes here on yay or nay of any of these single things that we've talked about before?
Right.
We've got the fire station roof on 515. All that red text on page 19 are things that you could tackle one or more of in the few minutes we have remaining.
I have a question that's somewhat related, but we're talking about hiring these new people, like the planner.
Yep,
Where are these people going to have offices?
it's got an office right here.
Is there?
Yeah. Tom always had an office right next to Sherry.
Okay.
Did you pass the,
Feel that we're running out of room.
did you vote on the?
Well, if we
Well,
followed,
we're talking about the file-proof room, and
right, if we follow Dennis's lead to digitize everything in the building department and the parcel files, you're gonna need another room with a big plotter that takes up that size table, and you need a place for one person to work for probably upwards to a year on nothing but copying these things and digitizing them. And let's not go there right now.
no.
So we got a fire station insulated roof, a fire truck, the things you've seen across the hallway here, and water coming into Central Station.
What line is this?
All the red ink on page 19.
Oh, okay.
505.
Now, line 509 is something, one of the fixed assets that we're replacing,
Yes.
correct?
We would sell engine 3. It's just going on 20 years old. Matt will be here next week, so that might be
Okay,
a
so
good thing.
we should wait?
Yeah, you can. Philosophically, from my standpoint, line 505, the $100,000 for bringing water in, I would much rather spend the money on a new roof down on line 515,
Yeah.
because we've got a real mess over there. We have ice dams within days after a snowstorm, and the water is coming through the roof and into the walls. And we don't even know if we have a mold or a rot problem in the walls, but when insulation gets wet, it doesn't work. It sucks heat out of the outside. And we need to do something over there.
Chances are good.
We don't want to go another winter with the present roof and insulation situation we have over there. So
Okay.
I'll take that. The first thing, if the selectmen tell me to reduce the budget, first thing that's going in my mind is the water to the fire station, that I'm keeping in the roof. And I'm gonna push hard for the selectmen to keep that $47,000 for the room also, because I think we need to protect those things long-term. And we're just about out of storage space over in that other room.
I want to say something, though, about a metal roof on the fire station, is that, what are you going to do about snowfall?
You can put cleats on there to keep it.
Yeah, but I think that, a roof that size would be very difficult, even with cleats, because of the size and the pitch of that roof, of snow coming down on.
Well, you
It
just have
wouldn't
to
be
plan
bad
for
on
it.
the old Alfred side, because there isn't that much there, but you have the whole entrance and driveway on the other side, that could be a problem.
You blow it, or you get a tractor over there and get it out of the way, keep it away from the building.
What's that?
You move it. As soon as it comes off, you blow it, or you get a tractor over there and take it away from the building.
Yeah, but some of it would fall right in front of the door.
Well, we may need a bigger little doghouse dormer above the doors. But above those doors, we'd have the cleats that Jim was mentioning, to keep the snow up there right above that. So it would not come down there, it would sit there and melt. And this is an insulated roof, that's why it's $150,000. You could put an uninsulated metal roof up there for $100,000.
Yeah, I don't want to do,
But we've got such a heat loss problem in that attic, whether we insulate the gable ends and keep that whole space heated, which scares the dickens out of me, we can at least fix the roof and stop the problem.
You want to start at 505 with the water main?
Remember, as it sits right now, the CIP under my column is at $550,000. This year, we were at under 200. And it's been, you know, higher, it's been 250 to 300 in the past few years. So this CIP always fluctuates wildly depending on where you're at and what you need to do. But I understand that some things in here are not going to withstand the selectmen's scrutiny, and you folks too, which is why I'm telling you what I'm telling you. There's some priorities in here, and I've just told you a couple big ones.
I make a motion that we go line 505, that we reduce that to 0. We don't do the fire line this year, or the water line this year.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
3-0. Fire chief will shoot me for talking like that.
And to build a new masonry fireproof room for the building permits record storage. I make a motion that we grant the $47,000 for that.
I second.
Any discussion? No? All in favor?
3-0, thank you. File cabinets?
Yep. I make a motion we accept the 15 uninsulated 5-drawer file cabinets to replace the existing file cabinets at $7,500.
Now, are these going in the insulated room?
Is there a second?
Yeah.
I'll second it so we can
Okay.
talk about it.
Take it.
Yes, they would, Don.
Yes, they would.
Yeah, they'll go in, even if this survives and the other one doesn't. We're gonna do this if the $7,500 is there. We're gonna replace everything that's in Tammy's office.
Okay.
With 5-drawer
That was
cabinets.
just my question, because I didn't know, I was gonna wait until the following year to put the files in that room, but this is to replace the files in
Tammy's room.
Tammy's room for more efficient storage.
Yes,
Right.
Gotcha,
whether the room is a go or not.
gotcha.
All in favor?
3-0. Okay. We're on a roll here. Do we dare talk about electronic sign?
No, well, let's talk, I make a motion, we reduce that to 0.
Oh, no.
Don't know where you're gonna put it yet.
You,
I've got plenty of locations. I just don't have a sign to put up yet. Is there a second?
A second.
Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor?
Oh, fool. 3-0 passes at 0. All right. You guys are being tough on me tonight. Fire truck.
hey, we gave you your room,
That's right. Thank you. For
and
that.
that's important.
It is.
Okay.
It's a give and take. Do you want to call it a night or?
Yes, I think.
Yep.
Okay. All
I
right.
make a motion to adjourn?
Okay. At 18:17.
Thank you for all being here. That's much appreciated. Anybody have a problem with 4:30 next week? Okay. Let's see. I'm supposed to bring Todd as well as Matt and David Benton. So we'll get going there. We will not have a meeting after that. So yeah, you can hit